Christina.
And Bonnie. Hi, I'm new at this.
Welcome. I know there's no one there right now. Later on, people will tune in and watch the video. But so this is our first live stream together. Many of you know I've done many live streams. But tonight we just really want to come and share or, just talk and connect with people in regards to the new series that we're doing called Puerto Vallarta Life for Us. So you've seen I've just done a couple of quick little videos so far because of course we need to do much more filming and we'll do that as often as we can. So that's what we just really want to share. And I wanted to introduce you to Bonnie. And of course, as a live stream, it's just really nice to connect with people in this way. And then we'll just kind of wait to see if people come on and chat. If not, we can just
So where do you see the people coming up?
Okay, so so when people come, it'll tell you up here. Putting my hand in. So it'll tell you if there's people on, if people give you likes, how long we've been on, right? You've been on for a minute. And down here, if people start talking, they'll come in and say hello. I think even though we're gone live, but sometimes what I notice, because someone will say, okay, I'll give you an example. I have 800 subscribers. Everybody gets a notification, right? Because of subscriber. So whether they're available or they want to tune into our topic or whatever, they'll come in and say hello. So
hello.
That'll show up
It's me.
But at the same time, this is kind of like just recording a video, because as soon as this is done, it's going to be a video and it's going to be there and people can come back and watch it anytime. But we're live at the same time, so we can connect with the subscribers, with people. So, we'll just kind of wait to see if anybody comes on.
Christine has got a great technical mind besides a spiritual and worldly view. Believe me, she's been so much fun hanging out with. And she has been a godsend with my computer and figuring things out and figuring out why I couldn't get an Uber app, which took 10 days. I mean, she's really, really knows how to do her computers and how to get in deep to that kind of stuff. So she has been an angel for me.
Well, thank you. Maybe you should tell them why. Well, see, the thing is, you just came. Tell them, you don't live here full time. I'm here full time at this time because I travel sometimes around, but I've been here longer in Vallarta. But you come here only every so often. So
in the winters, pretty much in the winters. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts, and there's ice everywhere there. And I have difficulty walking, so I get the hell out of Boston in the winter. And I come to paradise. And it's a godsend. It's a lovely city to be in, friendly city to be in. And I'm right here by the river, and I have my breakfast up there, and at night I sit there before I go to bed. And I rehabbed this house, which was quite an experience. I'm artistic, so it was fun and crazy and difficult.
Well, tell them what you did. I mean, some people have seen in a video before. I showed this a little bit, and I haven't shown as much, but maybe next time in the daytime, maybe we'll do a video here to see how beautiful this condo actually looks. And this is all your design and your idea, but
this place was jackhammered and walls came down, and it was a construction site for a good almost 2 months. And I was running around like crazy trying to find tile and come up with how to, it was fun. I like that stuff, but it was wild. It happened fast. Not all of it perfect. But yeah, it was fun. I like doing it. And I'm on Airbnb if anybody's interested.
Well, you did good. You did, you went on, when did we go on to Airbnb? Like April? No, when was it?
Yeah,
No, August.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it was in August. So she was after that, because as you know, some of you know I lived here for a little while. And then after that, it went on to Airbnb, and
she was my co-host.
back to back pretty much. There was very
We
little
were
time in
busy.
between. Yeah, very little time in between.
She was busy.
So,
And then she
well,
moved,
I'm here.
she moved kind of far away, which
Yes.
didn't help, because people say I'm going to be there at 3 and it's really 7, which is sort of an Airbnb. I'm sure some of you people have Airbnb stuff going on. It's an
There's lots of
amazing
people, yeah.
experience. And Christina was my co-host, so she got to meet everybody. I seemed to have some really, really good people that showed up.
You did.
Yeah.
I'm going to see what this does. I'm hoping that, okay, hold on a second here.
She's playing with buttons.
Yeah.
So we're not sure what's going to happen, but
Yeah,
if
I
we go
shouldn't
blank, we'll come
disappear.
back.
No, because I want to send, this is what you can do, is you can send it out to post that I'm on Facebook, because Monty should be on there, but he hasn't. So we just,
Live from Puerto Vallarta, Christina and Bonnie.
yeah, so
Hola.
here, so I send this here. I'm going to teach Bonnie a little bit about this.
Should we do it to my Facebook people too?
No, you can't, because this is my account. It's only connected to my account. No, what you could do is, no, I would love that you do that. Probably what I could do is, if I post this on your leave sites, changes you
No.
made may not be saved, why not? Well, that doesn't make sense. No, it should be post to Facebook. It should just go there. Like if I sent you this, if I post this to your, see there, okay, so it went to Facebook now. If I see,
Is this what they're seeing?
someone's
the big
there.
strip in front of your face?
No, they can't see that. That's only me. So if
So they see your whole face?
yeah.
We see this big strip with all these.
Well,
I'm new with this.
yeah, yeah.
Those who just
So
joined
who's
us.
there now? Say hello.
I'm Bonnie. Hi.
It might be Monty. So then if I go post this on your page, then you could go onto your phone and then you would go to your profile and then you could share it to your friends. But then again, no, probably if I post it on there, I can post it right to your thing. You want me to do that? I can do that. I'll show
Do I
you.
have to give you my password?
No, no, buddy. Okay.
They can hear me.
Of course they can hear you.
I'm really bad at passwords. Oh my God.
That's okay. So share to a friend. So if I go like this, I'm showing you how to do this. So I go, Bonnie. Let's see if your name should come up right away, though. I don't know why, unless you haven't got, oh, there you are. There you are. So now I'm just going to show it, and it's going to go onto your timeline right now. Yes, and so if anybody happens to be looking at your timeline, then that will pop up.
Hi, friends in Boston. If you're around, please check in. This is Christina. She's my co-host, my good friend, and
We're gonna go
she
put it
does
on
this
Twitter.
all the time. She's showing me how to do it. And
The theme is different today because they're usually used to me coming on talking about something metaphysical or spiritual. But this is another little thing that I really wanted to do this when I moved here, and we talked about it, and Mantu and I did, and we kind of, got me a little camera, and we started to kind of do it, but then the camera didn't record very well, and then different places I lived, if you don't have good internet, you can't upload things, so it didn't happen, but I really wanted to do it because I'm in paradise, you know what I mean? Like, it's like...
That's what everybody says. Welcome to
Yeah.
paradise here.
Yeah. No, it is.
It's
Maybe we
because
can talk a
people
bit
are
about next,
so laid back and easy.
There's, like, where do you really kind of begin, about people who have been here before? We don't really need to tell you. If you've been to Puerto Vallarta or PV or Vallarta, as we call it, then you're aware. And, and I'm sure that I haven't met anyone who has not loved a trip here, a vacation here, or anything like that. I haven't met anyone that hasn't liked the place. But if you haven't been here before, let's do this. From your perspective, how would you describe it? Because you have been coming here for how many years?
Maybe 7 or 8 years I've been coming to Puerto Vallarta. And believe me, I've been looking for a place to live. Well, since I've been, 20. What am I going to do when I grow up, right? Where are we going to live? So I've gone to many islands, and whenever I travel, I always look for property and stuff. So and I've been all through Mexico, not all through, but I put on 3,000 miles by myself.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yes, and I don't speak Spanish.
By yourself, you see? Like, do you have any fear about?
People were. You want me to tell you a great story?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm by myself. Don't speak Spanish, So I'm not sure exactly where I'm going or anything like that. If I pulled over and I asked people a question, or if they wanted to get a drink, if they didn't speak English, they would call somebody over and they would talk to me, and they would be very, very nice. They would tell me where to go and what to do, blah, blah, blah. Anyhow, I never felt, well, I did feel fear once, and I'll tell you that story. I was driving south up to the north, I was going into Guadalajara. I'll tell you two stories. This one's gonna. Okay. So
Hi, Stacy. This is my friend Stacy.
Hi, Stacy and Bonnie.
Uh-huh.
So I'm driving into Guadalajara, maybe just outside of Guadalajara. And I drive everywhere, and I always like to go search around and everything. And I ended up in this very isolated, almost like no one was around in this town. And it was clean and everything, but it was I felt it was a little strange. And it was like a maze, and I couldn't get out of there. And it was the first time I kind of felt like, this is scary. I can't get out of here. And
that's
where do I go? Yeah, but I was like amazed. And the only people I could talk to were all the men drinking tequila on the corners. And they would say, go here, go here, go here. I talked to about 4 different sections, 4 different groups of men drinking tequila. And they were all very nice. They came up to the car. They said, turn here, turn here, turn here. I couldn't get out. So I'm going up this thing, and it's like, I gotta get out of here. I had to find a hotel. I had to find a hotel in Guadalajara to stay. I guess I was leaving the next day and taking a plane out. So I had to get out, and there were these guys. I'm driving up, and there's these guys working on a car. And it's night. And they're working on a car, and one guy's got a leather jacket, and the other guy's got all these tattoos, and I'm like, oh shit, there's no one else around, So I said, excuse me, how do I get out? Blah, blah, blah. And I came to the car, and they kind of told me. And I said, but I've tried. And so one of the guys said, hold on for a minute. So he went inside his house. And he came out with his wife and his baby, and he got in his car, and he said, follow me. Isn't that nice? I mean, they were like, oh, should I really talk to these 2 guys? And they took me all the way to the hotel that I needed to go. And I offered them money, and they said, no, no, no. I said, don't tell me that. You used gas, blah, blah, blah. You saved my life. Thank you so much. And so that was really the only time I felt scared, and they were wonderful.
And it didn't end up to be anything, so it was, and that's I'd have to say from my experience, and not to say things don't happen, because things can happen anywhere in the world, but from my experience, mostly that's how it is. People are helpful here, especially if they see that you need help, or you're in need, or you know what I mean? Like it's very rare that it's just rare.
It is really, really
compared to
compared to the States, people are, every time I open the door and I have a cane and they see me getting out of a cab, somebody will stop and offer me their hand to help me out of the car. Man, woman, it doesn't matter. And wow. Or if they see you carrying, there was this guy, I was trying to take trash a block or so away. And it's a big thing, and I have a cane and blah, 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 and a big bag of garbage. And this guy was sort of down and out. You don't see too many of them around here, but he happened to have been one of them. And he starts walking towards me, and he took my garbage bag.
Oh, that's so nice.
I know. And I said, muchas gracias, señor. And he said, you live around here. My name is Bonnie. And, and just tried to be friends with him. And that, that's such a blessing. And I think it's happens more in less, what's the word, countries that are so rich and this is like not a third world or it's
No,
like
it's not.
but these people grow up in their families.
It's very family oriented.
They nurture their
Stacy said that's really nice.
brothers and
Yeah.
sisters. They nurture their little baby sisters and brothers, and they take care of their grandmothers. And they, there's so many cultures that do that, and it's really nice. It's in them to help and to care for people.
Yeah.
It's nice.
The majority, and I think, well, there's a lot of reasons, but there's a lot of reasons why people move here and not just come here on vacation. They come on vacation because it's beautiful and beaches, beautiful sunsets and beaches, and there's so many things to do. I mean, Vallarta has really grown a lot. I lived here from one time before, from 1992 to 94. And then I did a couple of trips back, like once on a cruise. We got off here, that was in 2010, and maybe one or two other short vacations. And then there were several years that I hadn't come here. So the next time that I returned was 2000 and what year are we in? 2017.
You're contagious in my brain.
2017. And I mean, I was in shock because the old town part still much is the same, of course, and there's, things all around it have been built. But the north end was like so different. I couldn't even remember. The marina was there, and that was in the airport. And I was like, what? I mean, there was whole new residential areas.
Yeah,
and the first
it's
area I
true.
moved to was a completely new area, which is really, really nice. And so it's really evolved, but still maintains that small town charm in certain ways, And I moved here by myself 27 years ago, right? I came on vacation and I loved it. And I was like, I need to move here. I mean, I literally, back home, things were just literally coming to an end. It was like that journey was ending. And then this one was there waiting for me. I have goosebumps now. And waiting for that one to start. And I moved. I moved to Mexico by myself. And I had no fear about it. And actually back then it was even a little more different because back then they used to have different police or military different that would be out there more, but they don't have that now. They just have the tourist police, right? Which they had then too, but it was still different back then. And so now it's much more, I feel there is a even more laid back feeling here than there even was then. And I was fine back then. Half the time I didn't even lock my door, which is weird. I used to live in Versailles in an apartment on the third level, and sometimes I forget to lock my door. And there was a Mexican friend that came in. He's like, "How come your door's unlocked?" I go, "I don't know. It's just unlocked." And he's like, "You don't have," in Spanish, he's like, "You're not afraid because you're a woman. You're a woman." I was like, "No," and I never had
I never either.
issue,
Right.
But back home, even though I love where I come from, I always lock my door. I mean, I do it here now, in that sense.
If I was walking around in Boston alone at night or something like that, I would be really aware of my surroundings, But here, I don't know. I mean, I've walked around the Malecon alone at night. I don't walk home and scrape a cat, but
well, it's like anywhere. You're aware, and you're not going to go into, because a lot of places here the lighting isn't as great, so it's really dark.
and you
it's
have to watch
understandable,
where you're
but
walking because it's cobblestone.
yeah, the roads are very different.
You could trip really easy.
You got to concentrate to walk, actually.
You have
so you got to look down
attention to what you're doing.
cobblestones.
Yeah, so you're not really looking at it. But no, it's a really nice ride. Everybody's
It
peaceful.
is.
Not only that, but everybody accepts who you are.
And that's very interesting. Thanks for also saying that because, I mean, first of all, here we have probably one of the largest LGBT communities. And, for the most part, everybody's fine. Everybody accepts them. They're free. Someone's here. I don't know who it is. But you know what? Whenever people start coming in, I start to feel your presence. And this, guys. I can feel you because I have goosebumps. So, but, everybody accepts them. I mean, there's going to be people who don't. You know that. But I'm saying you don't hear it out there.
They can walk around.
There's this conflict
any
out
kind
there. Any way you want to look and be,
they're there,
whatever.
They're cool. Everybody has dogs, little dogs, big dogs. They accept all the gay people. They accept fat people. They accept people of color. They don't accept Trump too much. But
stop! No, we're not going political.
There's T-shirts. So can we at least talk about the T-shirts?
No, I'm not talking political.
Okay, no. But you can only imagine.
No, I don't see any of that anyways. So, I mean, they make some products here, but I'm sorry, they get that from over there and they make that. But you don't hear them talking about that. Very few of them. You don't hear anything about that. They're not involved about that. They're involved in their life. You know what I mean? And
they don't really talk about that.
No. And I don't
first got elected, they said.
This is not matching today for some reason, because there were people here. Hello, everybody in the chat. And then over there, it's supposed to tell you how many people are on, but it's not matching. So I don't know. That doesn't really matter.
So anyhow, I've never done a chat before, so I want you people to ask some questions. So I can find out.
About Vallarta.
Vallarta. And let's hear what you might be interested in.
Yeah, well, if you want to ask, but who knows where, sometimes it goes a different direction, but we'll see what happens. Mostly the theme today, anybody who's new, is that we're introducing the little series that we're going to do here in Vallarta, Life for Us Here. So we just want to connect more with people and, have fun, say hi. And this way we can explain more than in a video. Otherwise, if we sat here and explained this in a video, it would be very, very long. And people will lose their attention much more in watching a video because they can, click off. Here, if they want to join in, they can leave, or they want to sit here and chat with us. Because at least this way, they can, converse with us in the chat.
Stacy said that's really nice. What are you referring to, Stacy?
That was something when you were talking about earlier when you were telling your story.
Oh, about the guys that took me to the hotel and left me without, and I gave them money.
Funny is a lot of those stories. The other day,
lots of stories.
I filmed that. I don't remember what you were talking about, but you were telling a cool story about something. Remember?
Oh, the people with the purse.
No,
the keys.
No.
Oh my God, that was funny.
It was a different story. No, it was. But my other video that I had, the recorder, the sound was no good. I couldn't hear anything you said. So that's terrible. But I know it was a good story. But it was like for half an hour. Yeah, I don't know what you.
I told a story for a half hour.
Yeah.
Was it the joke? I couldn't remember the punchline.
No, it was something to do here in Mexico or something like that. I don't know.
I don't know either, but
any Mexico stories you want to talk about? I mean, I kind of jumped over something. I wanted to say is that a lot of people move here because, not just because it's beautiful, yes, or it's less expensive, and
it's a lot less expensive.
Well, it is. I mean,
the food is great.
You can run the gamut. You can have very expensive.
Oh yeah.
But in comparative to here to there, I mean,
whatever your lifestyle is there, you can have that same lifestyle here cheaper.
Yeah, exactly. We always say it's the same ocean if you're especially on the West Coast. But it's just life can be simpler. And it can be, it can be whatever you want in a sense. You could be someone who just simple, or you can be someone who goes and is active everywhere because there's so much to do. You can travel north and south and go inland.
Or just hang around Puerto Vallarta and go to yoga or go volunteer at the dog.
A lot of expats do that. Yeah, a lot.
Or go at the orphanage or learn Spanish, which you don't. I pass pretty good with knowing poquito Spanish. Because a lot of these guys, most of the guys speak some English, so
Well,
it
they won't
works.
tell you though. That's the thing about it.
They say poquito.
They say poquito,
But they
and then they'll say
understand
the other
everything.
one. But that's true too, because I can understand more than I can speak. So I think it kind of works the same way. And then you have to feel confident, because, and sometimes I get it. Monty always say, "You speak Spanish." I say, "No."
She speaks Spanish really good.
No, I speak a little Spanish, but I do not think in Spanish, and that's the difference. If you think in the language, then it can roll off and you can speak it. But I can understand more, I can write more, I can grasp it, but I don't have all the vocabulary there. You know what I'm saying? I've never studied Spanish. When I lived here 27 years ago, my roommate spoke some English, one of them, the other one did not. So I had to try to communicate with her. So I picked up the dictionary and I read the dictionary. That's what I did. I wasn't doing anything else.
You read the dictionary?
I'm telling you, Webster's dictionary.
From front to back, or you just picked the page?
No, I read it. I don't remember it now, but I read it.
She's got a very deep brain.
I really did. And it was like, it's not like you can memorize it all, but words would come. I'm going, oh yeah, I remember that word. And I was like, so then when you start speaking, but that's how I started. Otherwise, I did not study Spanish, didn't do anything. I did marry Mexican, 20, whatever it was. And, all of his family did not speak English. So, I had to fake it.
And make it.
Fake it and make it, you know what I'm saying? So I can get by, but
Well, me, I really did. I got the tapes and I stuck them in my car in Boston, and I did try to learn.
I should have done that too.
I did try to learn Spanish. I really did for the first year or two, just traveling around the country. But then when I got to Puerto Vallarta,
Party outside.
I would ask. I would have it all phonetically written in my book, and I would say blah 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 blah. And my friend who's driving me around, the Spanish lady, she's driving me around, showing me different property and everything. She's a dentist, and she's a lovely lady. I stayed at her mom's place for many years. And she goes, "What do you say?" And I go, blah, 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 blah. And she looks at it, and she says, "We don't talk that way." Well, of course, they don't talk blah, blah, blah. But anyhow, the point being is, those tapes teach you very formal language.
Yeah.
And there's a street language, just a normal street language that's very, very different. And they don't really. So I tried for a while, but then everybody sort of spoke English, so I kind of got really lazy with it.
But where was this?
Here.
Oh, here.
When I practiced?
Yeah.
I practiced at home,
okay.
Driving around, and, and I brought all my cheat sheets and all that. But yeah, I did it. I tried, and poquito, mucho poquito.
See, it shows nobody on, and then Stacy's there asking questions. Do most people get around Vallarta without a car or with a car? Both. Well, it's technically not, I guess, a city. It's considered still a town, but it's pretty good size. And there's I don't know what the population is here, 200 and 300,000, something like that. There's a lot of cars. Yes, there is. There's a lot of buses.
A lot of walkers.
A lot of taxis. Taxis, Uber.
They are not tacky. They're very cool, nice.
Well, some of the taxis are tacky.
Well, the taxis.
Some of them, the Ubers are nice. Sorry. But yeah, there's a lot of walkers. A lot of people.
A lot of walkers. Yeah. And okay, so I live on the edge of life.
Oh, that too.
Of the romantic zone, and it's about a mile to walk to the Malecon and the beach and the ocean. But when you're walking, you're passing all these lovely little stores: the fish market, the fruit market, the little kids market with little cheap plastic little toys that are really cheap plastic little toys. And then, as you get a little closer to the beach, and there's beautiful shops with all these wonderful pottery and glassware and
there's lots of shopping here of all kinds of things.
And then you get a little even closer. There's art galleries. There is a huge huge art center here. People
Yeah.
from all over the world come and buy beautiful paintings. I mean, a lot of people are very talented here. with
There's a lot of
painting,
artisans and
yeah.
crafts and everything.
And so you can go to all these galleries. So, and then you can always eat on the corner because there's some Mexican stand there making some good food. And I've never been sick here. You can
No,
eat
I never
everything.
have. I mean, I don't eat meat anymore, but years ago when I lived here, people say, maybe you should watch it. We used to eat all the time at the different tacos and, whatever it was on the corners and try them. Man, it was,
Burritos,
yes,
carne,
whatever,
I
you
eat
know.
meat.
So,
Yeah, so walking, the point being, walking,
you can see a lot more.
it's an adventure, and you can go in and out of all these stores. And the Malecon, of course, is filled with other people selling Mexican beautiful jewelry and wraps and blah, 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 and food. They got good desserts, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
So I noticed that you asked if drivers follow the rules.
Yeah.
I'll tell you another little story. When I first came to Puerto Vallarta and I first stayed at Lucia, she's a retired doctor, and it was her daughter that was driving me around, who's a dentist. But anyhow, I used to stay there at their courtyard, lovely place. So I'm driving, I rented a car, and you could park on any side of the street. You didn't have to park in one direction or the other direction. You could just park wherever you want, and that thing just thrilled me, like, wow. That's really nice.
There's rules, but there's not rules. Like there's not a lot of things that you think might be is a rule here, but then there's things that are not rules here. So as long as you're not blocking anybody.
The only time I've seen, I mean, there's been some crazy drivers, especially on motorcycles, but
yeah.
The only time that I've had problems, I've done a lot of driving. You have to wear your seatbelt when you're driving down by the Malecon because they'll pull you over. And then,
will they? Because a lot of people. I don't put it on.
Yeah.
I think they're more strict now. Like years ago, a lot of people didn't even wear seatbelts.
Yeah. I was pulled over a couple of times, So you give them 20 pesos or 50, 60 pesos or something.
Yes, I'm afraid
Which is like
that kind of exists a little bit. I've
under
never
a dollar,
done it, but
right? I have. So there was that rule that was enforced. The driving, the streets are, the highway. It's not highways, but to get to, where you live, or to get to Walmart, and you want to get out of the city and whatever. Those streets are all very, very, very good, and they have a system where everybody goes down a lane. There are lights, but in my country, you make a right or a left-hand turn, and that can really stop traffic behind you because they need to make a left turn, and they need to. So here they have a side road.
Like a little rampy that kind of goes like
down.
This,
the car, you're
so
thinking the car is going to fall on its side.
It's not that steep.
Well,
though.
some of them are.
Well, maybe. Depends on where. In the older part of town, it kind of looks like that.
Sometimes it's pretty wild. So are the ramps for handicapped people. They're like, excuse me, I can't do that. But I mean, it's really rough. They tried, but you have to get on the side road. And then everybody stops on the main road, and then all the people are allowed to turn. And it really does make a lot of sense. So they do follow those kinds of rules. And
though they still have that aggressiveness to kind of like anywhere else. They're not very patient. They're not very patient waiting. I'm sorry to say, beep, 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 beep. They like doing that. But for the most part, I think that they're pretty good with following the rules. You know what I mean? Because here you tend to, not that they're everywhere, but you do see the policia, the federal, with their trucks just kind of driving around and stuff like that. So if you get too crazy, they'll probably catch you. Especially when it's, because you gotta remember here, this is, I'm sure this is a tourist place, and like now is high season, so there's a lot of people here. And
Not this season. It's much more last year.
no, they said that this is, they said, you know, when we were saying last week, it looked really quiet. I think part of that is because of the weather, which they
The
didn't
weather was a
expect.
little strange this year.
Yeah, like in the east and wherever. Oh no, here, yeah, it was a little strange too. It was up and down. But like I said today, I passed by and the airport was packed. There was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would say 6 or 7 planes, and it's not a big airport. You think, no, that's not a lot of planes. It's not a big airport. And then there were tons of chartered planes, not chartered, private planes, and they have a no little section. I was like, oh my goodness, there's a lot. A lot of wealthy people here. I mean, the guy that his yacht is gone. I was going to film it today because we were out by the marina. I was hoping because the cruise ships, this is also a port, right? So the cruise ships come in. There isn't any there today, but there was a yacht that's been there for about 5 months now. He's like the 20th richest billionaire in the world, and so he always comes down here. And his yacht with his own helicopter is parked on top, and he's always right up where we were having for lunch. He's usually always there. So he has to move when cruise ships come in, but I didn't see him there today, so maybe he left. But it was busy, so there was a lot of private planes, so I don't know. February will pick up again, you see, because universities get out.
True.
And then March, you're going to have your spring break. And then April is Semana Santa comes, so like Easter. So that's a whole different thing. It's mostly Mexicans coming from all over.
Wow, they know how to party.
That is wild. The beach is full of umbrellas.
Good music and everybody cooking up a storm and little children.
It's really busy.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it. Then it starts to, whew.
But you mentioned spring break, and I don't know, I used to think about, things like Fort Lauderdale, Florida, or Cancun, where all the young kids come and get really wild and crazy. I don't really see that here. There are some young people that are here, but they're not wild and crazy. And
then again, we're not out late at night, though.
Well, I'm not out that late at night. I actually stayed up long enough to see the fireworks the other night on the Malecon. It's like, oh, it's 10 o'clock. But yeah, people.
It's not like Cancun's.
Not at all.
More of a spring. The younger people tend. Like I was there one time.
They're more mellow here.
Yeah, there's a little. I mean,
it's a mellow vibe everywhere.
It's a little, there's partying there, whatever, but it's not like.
Oh, there is.
It's not like it was when I have to tell you, because when I lived here again 27 years ago, we only had one Malecon. Now we have 2. And so the main Malecon, which is the clubs were there, and it was very different. The bars, and they still have some of that there, but some of it's changed.
Oh, it's
the used to party there very, very late.
Pretty heavy duty.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was really much crazier. I feel back then, but you can still have the moments here,
But there are some clubs that are very lively, very crowded, very wild. You can get anything you want here, but
this is true.
Jazz
clubs. There's or whatever. You can listen to different music. There's so much here in Vallarta now that, I don't know. Some people still back home, I don't know what they think. Like, well.
Oh, it's dangerous. It's
I know you're afraid to come here and all that. And it's like, I'm sorry, you're missing out, because it really is not, not in that way. And I'm not, and again, the only thing I would say is, like, there are certain other parts of Mexico that are different, but that's not here. It's not here.
This place is very different.
It's very different, and part of the reason is, I won't get into that too much, is that you can't have too much of that other kind of activity that goes on, in other places, the drugs and all that kind of stuff, because Vallarta has one main road that goes in and out. So you know what? You're going to get caught.
Yeah, exactly.
But for the most part, it's just, that's not it, And so I've never had any fear here. Like, I never have. And it might be because I have a great affinity, with Mexico. I also lived in Baja North, right about 30 minutes from the border, from Tijuana border. And I crossed that so many times by myself. Monty and I crossed it. Many times I crossed at night, and I would have to travel from there by bus because I didn't have a car. I've never had a car in Mexico. And it would take me, it takes about an hour and a half to like bus, little taxi. And you know how many times I did that by myself? Um, and
That's true. That's
yeah,
true. You have to do a lot of buses sometimes to get from place to place.
yeah, but I do it by myself. I remember when I went to Europe.
People will stand up and give you a seat.
Oh, and the taxis, with my suitcase, they help you, and
Yeah, bring your groceries in.
and I walked from the border, Tijuana border, to where I need to go get a taxi is a 5-minute walk to get this other taxi because I didn't want to take this other one, saving money, but also at the same time I just thought no, because there's so much traffic there that I could walk this route that I learned all the way to where I need to get this taxi. I came from London one time. I was in Italy and then London, and I was traveling for 24 hours, and I didn't get to the border Tijuana till like midnight, and so I had to come home. So I wasn't going to stay there. And so, I mean, I went so far because then there's
So wait a minute.
no
You
more.
got to the border of Tijuana,
Tijuana.
and you wanted home at that point was where?
I lived in Puerto Nuevo, so it's probably about by car you can do it in 30 minutes, but when you have to take the little taxis, and then there's one. See, that bus stopped running, so I would have to when you got to Rosarito, that would stop, and I'd have to take another bus. Anyways, it's like about an hour and a half it would take me, and I just tell you how many times I did by myself, and everybody would like it's almost like they would watch out, and I get into the taxi, and most of the
Take
time
care of you in some way.
it would be filled with men. It would be all men coming from work or going back to Rosarito. Once in a while, there was a woman at that time, and they would help me with my suitcase, and they talk, and and they.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
I never, ever, ever felt uncomfortable.
Not only that, you feel taken care of. You feel like
the sound went a little bit low. Okay.
We should make it.
No, sometimes it's just the internet. Thanks, Stacy.
What was I saying? How people take care of you here. I mean, in Boston. Boston's a great place. Don't get me wrong, but people are just so busy going here and going there and doing this, that, and that people say, oh, I could fall on the sidewalk and they would just walk over me. But here, people do take care
somebody
of you.
probably
Pick up my garbage out of my hand and throw it away for me. They'll help put luggage someplace.
Well, they're very good with. I don't want to like elderly, but I mean they do it with everybody. But I'm saying
they do it with everybody.
Their
They're
nature
really good.
Is like because they really respect their elders. Is what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? Because they do take, like you said, take care of their grandparents and do that. So they do when they see someone that needs assistance. That's that's it's there. It just becomes common. But you'd notice when you go back home, and it's not to say
you notice the difference.
You do notice the difference, and it's not to put down anywhere because there's many wonderful people.
Yeah,
all
there
over the world.
definitely is. Absolutely, I don't mean to do that, but there's such a contrast. There really is a contrast because it's not one person that's helping so many different people help you everywhere you go. I walk with a cane, and if I'm getting out of a cab. And somebody sees me step out with a cane, they'll always reach a hand out to me to give me a hand to help me up. And I was at the grocery store. I said this on another video, but I'll repeat it. I run around in a scooter, which is so much fun. She taught me how to do it. I said, no, I really want. Oh my God, that was so much fun. That was so much fun.
You didn't want to get in?
I didn't want to do it. Man, I got in there and I just started zipping around, going around in circles. I just had a great time whenever I go to Walmart.
We're talking about the scooter and the Walmart
thing. People have trouble with walking.
Some people are embarrassed to get in.
Yeah, well, I was, but I ended up having so much fun. It's great.
She was gone. I lost her, actually. Remember that? I couldn't find you.
So, so anyhow, sometimes I couldn't reach something off the shelf, or, I had to get it off of something on a hanger. So I would take my cane and I would try to move it out or drop it down. And somebody would, oh, I don't, then from behind, they'd see a hand come up and say, here, let me help you. And they'll take it off the shelf. And this is, do you want any more? You know, they're just always, I've always had that experience. Man or woman, doesn't matter. People are there to help you. And it's so nice.
Yeah, I don't know. We want to share not just, how wonderful place that we live in. And it's not to say that there isn't things here that, you wish kind of, you get there. I'm not going to go that route today, but there's some things, kind of go, oh, okay, well, that's Mexico, or that's how it is. And that's how it is. You know what?
Right.
You
Building houses.
whatever it may be. There's a lot of different things that we can say, but you get used to it because that's their way. This is how it is. That's their culture, whatever it may be. And so you have to get used to certain things because this is how it is here. But the overall picture is that, it's beautiful, it's friendly, it's safe. There's so much to do. It's relaxing, or it can be very busy. It can be whatever you want it to do. But there's still that, like I was saying, Vallarta has grown a lot. It's evolved, and you kind of have to evolve.
Everywhere in the world.
And some might be too much. Some people might say, well, there's too many condos here. There's too much this. But at the same time, there's still that, and I feel small town
kind of thing.
Yeah, there's still that feeling,
There's still a lot of
there.
old around.
Yeah, there still is,
Lot of
especially in Old
old.
Town,
Yeah, and that's the basis of.
where a lot of most of activity. There's the marina. That's a different area out there. More shopping or going or go out do activities, going out to the islands because we're surrounded by
There's plenty
some
of
other islands.
activities.
But the main hub would be to come down into Old Town,
And the architecture is wonderful, and the colors are everywhere, and these people are sitting on their steps, like, cutting vegetables, or, or building a fire to make pancakey things with chocolate.
you really can see all the different aspects of life so much.
Yeah.
The sound is
kids
still
run.
low. I rewinded a bit, and the sound is low before. Yeah, I don't know, honey. Like, it's like we're not
Good to
doing
know.
anything, so
But maybe we're just talking.
no, it's probably just no. This is probably my
Where's the
computer.
sound thing?
Well, no, this is the speakers built in, and then you have it here. So I can't control that part of it. Yeah.
Thanks,
So,
Phil. That's good to know.
Thanks, Stacy. I know this happens sometimes.
I'm
in
glad
live
you want to
streams,
hear us.
Yeah. This is she rewinded the video, so you went back. You rewind it when you're listening to a live stream? Yeah, I guess you can. That's right. And the sound is louder before.
Was there
just so
something
you know.
else you wanted to know, Stacy,
Yeah.
that you kind of missed?
I can't. Thank you. Thank you. I know Mantu's there, but I would just remember now he cannot type. His no, he has a tablet and it just the chat thing's not working, so I know he's there. Anyways, hello.
Hi, Mantu.
This is Bonnie. You've actually never met her.
You stayed at my
person.
place.
Stayed at her
You
place.
heard a lot about
In
me.
this condo, and you actually probably will meet her in March, I think, right? And you're still going to be here.
God willing.
So,
Um,
okay. You're just telling about the sound. So, well, the thing is, I really do need new equipment. And so hopefully I will, say hi to Stevia.
She's taking donations.
And I'm taking donations. Okay.
She needs equipment. You should. Never mind.
I wouldn't go out and ask for that, but sure, why not? Well, the thing is, I'll say this a little bit because there's some people here watching here are YouTubers. Like, I know Abacus Inc., who was on there saying hi, they're a YouTuber, and we were supporting each other last year when I told you all this kind of thing where, and I was monetized but got demonetized because I didn't have the 1,000 subscribers. I didn't have the 4,000 hours of watch time. I had the previous requirements where you had to be monetized a minimum of 10,000 views. I was way past that. I had that, so I was monetized. But when they changed this, I tried to do my best for like 3 or 4 months afterwards with part of the creator community and do different things. And then different things in my life kind of changed. So that focus kind of went into it's not easy. It's really not easy. And so I was not as motivated to do this. But now it's come back around. And when Bonnie arrived, so I'm still doing my metaphysical, spiritual kind of things part of my channel. But when Bonnie came, I thought, I'm going to ask her because she just really is a very fun and loving and kind and sociable kind of person. And I thought, I wonder if she would mind doing that. She's only here for 3 months. So if we can do as much as we can and share Vallarta, that was one thing. The other reason I wanted to do this was because there's some people and some family members who are afraid to come here. And whatever, whatever has been propaganda to them over there, they hear one incident, two incidents, so they make it sound, and in one way, I almost want to laugh, but I have, I'm not going to laugh at anybody.
It's not a funny situation.
It's not funny,
it's
but
sad that they just.
It's kind of sad because if they looked in their where they live in a big city, and you can't even the crime or the things that happen in the city, which people don't seem to pay attention because it doesn't happen to them, but yet if you want to look at the stats, there's a lot of things happening. Okay. You don't have that here to any extent that's near. So it's sort of like, but you're okay over there, but you want to come here. But because it's been so blown out of proportion, some certain areas, they put it, this is a huge country.
It's a huge country, and they
huge.
Put it all together. Yeah, there's some serious shit that goes down on the drug trafficking thing, but they don't come. That's not happening in Puerto Vallarta. And like I said, I've driven 33. I forgot miles.
You said 3,000, no?
3,000, yeah.
3,000 miles by yourself.
By myself, and never had. Everybody was treating me wonderfully, and I didn't run into any problem. And this was, maybe 5-6 years ago. Yeah, I mean,
if you're not involved in that world, that's not part of. It's not going to become part of your world.
You've got to be. Mexico's a huge friggin' country, and most people are just doing their thing. I mean, granted, there's some shit that goes down here and there, not around Puerto Vallarta, but here and there. So yeah, I mean, say okay that stuff is going down in such a place, but don't just say Mexico.
Yeah.
That's like saying everybody in a country is bad, and that's crazy. No, that country's bad. No.
So that's part of the reason I also wanted to show, but I always wanted to do this before anyways, to show where I live. Like, why not? I mean, it makes great video. It's like just to show it. Everybody, who would love to go to a tropical place that they haven't been before.
Where does the water look like clear and blue and the sand?
No, that's the Caribbean side. This side, the water looks greenish. It has that more sort of greeny, because it's the Pacific Ocean.
But it's not dirty.
But it's only in the summer. When the Rio Quale goes out. You're not here this summer, thank the Lord. It's completely, no, you've never seen it?
No,
You've never seen the ocean? Oh, it's completely brown.
Oh, really?
It's all brown because the river flows out.
Rain.
Yeah, and the rain, because it comes from the mountains.
Right past my house, all that dirt washes into the ocean.
Yeah, it's brown.
But usually the water is clean. Around the Malecon, there's mostly beautiful colored rocks, and there's statue and art all over the Malecon. But then,
Which means boardwalk for those who don't speak Spanish.
True, and but there are also sandy beaches a little bit away. It's still
there's a lot of beach here, and it depends on where you are. Because if you go to Punta Negra, and that's not even that far, or Miss Maloya, you'll kind of see, to me, anyways, a change in the water where it might look a little bit more bluey turquoise, kind of thing, and then not so many rocks, or it just depends on. Conchas Tina's which is south, is really nice.
And so is Miss Maloya, and just the ride up there, you feel like you're in California, driving in the mountains. There's beautiful mountains here too.
Oh, it's
beautiful, big, gorgeous mountains. Yeah, and the sunsets go through it and everything. But there, I don't want to give you the wrong impression. The Malacan, there are lots, but there are still plenty of close, it's still within the city of Puerto Vallarta. There's still plenty of beaches that has nice sand and, and, food and, waiters are there giving you anything you want. And
Well, the bay here, the Bay of Banderas, is one of the largest bays. So it goes in this state, the state of Jalisco, and it goes out to the state. Nayarit is the next state, which is actually where I'm living right now, but it's very close. And then there's 3 islands out this way that you could boat to, Las Animas, Yalapa, Quimixto. But now there's actually other little ones that they've added now that you can take tours out to. So
that whale watching, you can see whales from the beach, jumping
Dolphins.
and stuff. Yeah, which is always a thrill. I love that. Yeah, and
I don't know what to complain here. I'm sorry. I don't know what to complain about here except for, maybe some things are slow or you got to wait till mañana or whatever. But overall, like, what do I complain about?
Western Union,
Okay,
Uber,
whatever. So Uber's pretty good.
Yeah, once you get the app, it took
Once
me
you get the app, Uber's
and
pretty good.
they don't know what they're doing. But
And I'm saying overall, the city, what do I
Well,
complain about? Now, I do wish they had a few more, choices, like maybe for me, food, more. But then again, there are pockets, more vegetarian or vegan. But it's becoming more and more because more people that come here
and
move here. They open up business. There's so many more businesses here from like when I lived here 27 years ago. There's so many more expatriates. There's so many more people who live here from the States, Canada, everywhere.
Mucho Canada.
There's a lot of French Canadians. They were not here when I lived here 27 years ago, but we noticed the first day that we came back when I came here 2 years ago on the place we stayed at, and it was a condo, but it was actually in one of the colonias, one of the areas, so not out in the resort, tourist area, but
there is a resort area too, but that's
no, but I mean
Puerto
where I
Puerto
lived
Vallarta
to, where I
Central.
lived into was over by the Livramento. That's where we first stayed, our first Airbnb, and it was French Canadians who were all staying all in there. And I was like, oh, and then I realized they just left Quebec. They just left that cold weather. And
Well, there's also a
they
million
came
from the
here.
west coast of Canada too.
Sure.
A lot.
A lot of people come, as they call them, snowbirds here. So they come down for 3 to 6 months, and then they go back, which is something I'm kind of thinking of doing myself, probably most likely, because it is hot here in summer.
It's hot and rainy in the summer.
You gotta like it. You gotta love it or not.
I leave and get into the humidity in
She's
Boston.
not here. She's not here in the summer, and I don't. You've probably never done a whole summer here.
No.
No, and I don't think you really would because it's just too hot. If you want to do a good detox, that would be.
It is really beautiful and it is really peaceful. And it's friendly, wherever you sit down you sit down at a restaurant and you're always talking to the people next to you, or people are just sort of open and friendly. It's quite lovely. Yeah, you make friends. It was wonderful. Frozen yogurt. You sit out there and you watch the sunset, and if you sit out long enough on the Malacan, there's fireworks every night.
There's fireworks everywhere. Tons
of food and peaceful. And children. I love to see the children. They run free. Mom and dad are close by, but the kids are climbing up on the statues, and they're good kids. I don't know. I think I heard somebody cry maybe today somewhere, but that was somewhere.
Oh, that's the story.
But you hardly ever hear kids crying. They're just free. They're up playing and they're rolling around.
They enjoy nature.
They're enjoying nature and rolling around, carrying a little plastic carriage, and just having a good time and being free. It's lovely. I like that.
You've been to Brazil. I think it's similar. My good friend Christina's from Brazil, but she lives in Baja, Mexico. So I mean, I'm sure there is that. It's still Latin, so there's that same sort of culture that exists there, and of course they will have their own individual, culture as well. But yeah, I think that's a lot of the Latin countries. They especially South,
Everybody
Central and
south
South,
of the
and
border of the state, I mean, all the Caribbean islands, people are very friendly and helpful too. And, you know, I think in cultures that don't have a lot of money, there's a different way of appreciating family and appreciating, the Mexicans I talk to, and I have several good friends, Mexican friends, and they like to work, like Esther. She likes to work. She and her husband are building a house. But she said she's made shoes in the past. She's so she just remembering, but that was like
she braids
days
on the
ago.
Malacon. She braids in
Or she
people's
makes
hair.
jewelry, but she likes to work, and she's sitting on the Malacon, and she's saying, this is her office. And people are friendly in this. And she says, if I don't want to work, I sit down, I take a break. I may not, she'll sit and talk to me for an hour or two. And then she'll get up and she'll work. So, and somehow she
With
makes
the ocean, that's her view.
the ocean is
That's
her
her
view, and
I mean, they work hard. Don't get
they
me
work
wrong.
very
But
hard.
the regular work week is a 6 day, or they work hard,
12
and for
hours
them
a
they
day, a
gotta
lot of
support.
them.
But they're very creative and also an entrepreneurial, I have to say, and because that's what they need to do.
They have to do it.
They have to do
They
it.
find a
But
way.
yeah, they do, and that's that different mindset a little.
And I've never really, well, I mean, like I've been here 6 or 7 years, and everything's relative, but the first time I saw actually a drunken Mexican man was 3 years ago. One. I saw one drunken.
Okay, only one.
Seriously, and yeah, only one. And then like last year I did see
You mean, was he working, or what are you talking about? You only saw one.
he was, I don't remember, he was on the marathon or walking down the street or whatever, but he
Oh,
was
you're
kind
trying to
of
say there's not a lot of.
no,
Okay. No,
no,
that's true. There's
or
not.
homeless. You don't see the homeless. I saw one homeless man like at the 7-Eleven or whatever, sitting there and asking for money. And, you know, so you don't really see
Not
that.
like,
Not
and
like
don't
the
get me
cities,
wrong,
the
in the
big
States,
cities.
because I love California, I love LA, I love all those
And I love
places,
Boston. I'm in
San
New England.
Diego, but in Toronto, where I'm from, I
You
mean, you
have
see
a
way
lot of
more
that.
there than you see here.
Absolutely. What you do have is some crazy teenagers on motorcycles zipping in and out of the cars with, a woman on the back and a baby, whatever. I mean,
Yeah,
they're a little.
there's some of the rules, but I don't even
I was a
know.
little crazy as a
Yeah.
younger person myself.
I don't
I guess
know.
we got to go through
I
some
don't
of
know
that.
what the rules that you're saying that, because I remember when I lived in Fluvia, and I could, when I used to do my live streams, I'd be like look out the window, and so I would see sometimes, whatever crazy, when I would see them driving by on a motorcycle with the kid and the baby. I'm like, you can never do that back home. But you know what? I don't think I'm sure it's happened, but I don't think I've ever heard of any accidents.
I don't hear, no,
Like,
you really don't hear
very,
accidents.
very
You don't hear
rarely.
about robberies. You don't hear about murders. You don't hear about any of that.
I mean, there's things there, but it's so minuscule. Like it's just.
I mean, there was a shooting out by the Richmond River about 5 years ago. It was a money situation. I heard about that.
Yeah. But
You remember?
they blew that up much bigger than it was, because when I came here, like again they propaganda it, what it was all about, that it was this and this and that, and it really wasn't all of that. It was, yes, it was over. It was more.
A money thing.
It was more of a money thing. So I'm thinking, oh, you hear about a lot of those back home.
Yeah, I mean, you turn on the TV back home and you hear,
I don't even watch these.
a list of things.
Whatever's going. Yeah, my parents used to sit in front every day at 6 p.m. and watch the
And that
news.
was their generation.
Yeah, and I said, why are you watching this? It's just filled with negativity. Well, I have to know what's going on. Is it in your world? Is it happening to you right now? No, it's not happening to you. Sure, you can be conscious and aware and smart in certain situations or don't get involved in certain things, but this is not your world. And of course, are you a happy person after you watch all this? No, my mother used to go, oh my God, this is, so there was, anyways.
But it also motivates you to make changes in the world, which is very extremely important. So, yeah, but you just don't hear about that here. You don't. I mean, yeah, I did hear, and I think it was last year actually, some guy, I don't know, a couple guys, I don't know. Anyhow, they had a pickup truck, and I guess they roped up a money machine somewhere, and they roped it and they tied it to the pickup.
Oh,
And they dragged it down the street. Dragged it down the street. It was quite a scene. I didn't see it, but
I mean, it's a little sad because there's a desperation, but at the same time, it was very stupid.
it was really.
And funny, I guess, I'm thinking, sometimes people do all kinds of things in desperation or to see what they could get away with. Sometimes these people just.
This was nuts. So they ended up like getting rid of that car, stealing another car, and then that stolen car ended up at my door. Yeah.
Oh,
My
really?
contractor told me that it ended up because I'm at a dead end into the river, and so they turned down my street and they couldn't get any farther. So they left the car there. There's a bridge that goes over the river.
What did they do with the machine?
They dropped that. It was a burden.
Oh,
They dropped it and stole another car. Yeah, so we had cameras. We had cameras on this place.
I just remember you telling me this last year.
And they ended up seeing the guy. The guy showed up on the camera. I don't know the follow up on that, but that was pretty crazy. But nobody got hurt.
It's not perfect. It's a
It's
smaller
kind of
town.
funny.
It is kind of funny. I was thinking, really, how far do you think you're going to get with that? I mean, I have actually heard back, I heard it, I don't know if I heard it in Toronto, but maybe one time I heard it years ago. Someone also tried to do that, steal the ATM machine, So it's like, okay, whatever. But we're telling you just stories and things that are here, but it's not.
That's what we hear, and that's not like what we hear.
It's also not
and
we've
States.
experienced per se.
No, not at all.
I don't know. Well, yeah, I don't know. There's just not a lot of things that, we're experiencing in that way.
Oh, I'll tell you another story that happens. I'm telling you, these are the bad things that happen in Puerto Vallarta. And, hey, there was one shooting, and the other, okay. So anyhow. Oh.
Is this a personal story?
No. So here this year, the big story is there's no fuel. Gas tanks.
Okay.
You want to know why? Because somebody ended up stealing 80 gas trucks filled with tanks.
No, filled with gas.
The tanks. I don't know how many, 50, 100. I don't know how many tanks can fit in one of those trucks. Somehow stole 800.
80, you just said?
80. 80?
You said 80.
80.
Is it 80?
Oh, a lot. And 80 or more. So, I make a joke. I said, I stole it. I took those cars and I put them in my pocket. I took those trucks and put them in my purse, and that's how I ended up stealing it. So, the long and the short of it is obviously it's an inside job. How else do you get away with stealing 80 big trucks? But what it did was make a gas shortage.
That feels very political to me. I don't know. It just feels like monkey business that I call that goes on, which is all of the plant business kind of weird stuff. But here, because we're a smaller place and, like gas is very needed for many, many things.
The stove,
But
cooking, and
yeah, and so it's kind of like
automobiles.
you don't have, there's no gas. What do you mean there's no gas? No, thankfully I haven't experienced it over there, but they have over
I
here.
think it's gotten better now. I think they found another outlet, and if they didn't find all the vehicles and whatever, I mean, what? So that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is kind of weird because you see over here, they have, this is some other different things that are different here. And you have to get used to when you live here, especially if you live, well, it doesn't matter where you live, to be honest with you. To get gas, the truck comes around with the tank and
A loudspeaker.
it's a loudspeaker that either says gas, gas, or the name of their company. It's
Or
very
something
loud.
in
And
Spanish.
yes, whatever. It goes up and down the street. You have that, or you have, agua. Well, now they have the Coke trucks too, right? See, I didn't check this out. I'm telling you this now. But anyways, everybody's listening. For the longest time, it was like, no, the water truck does not come over here. The water,
To my place.
yeah, it doesn't come here. And
It's a kind of a end of the line, like you said, on the edge of
no,
town.
it's not. It's not the water truck like the ones that I know come. It's the Coke truck delivers the water.
Oh.
That's where you get the water. Just after a month, I didn't even know that. But anyways, we never used to have that. But now they deliver the water, so they maybe think they hooked up with Ciel or whomever. And so, but these guys come around. There's a pastry truck, plays their loud music, selling whatever. Oh, now there's a guy, the chicken truck,
Well, there's
pollo.
yeah, lots of chicken cooking on the side
So there's a
streets.
lot of things that come around to advertise and
Clubs and
things
parties.
things that you need, right?
Yes.
And
Even avocados.
things
They
that
come around
you
and
don't
sell
need.
avocados.
So in the truck?
No.
Oh,
People.
okay.
So that's kind of handy.
There's handy, and then but there's just different things
Loudspeakers.
you have to kind of get used to that. It depends on where you live. In my area, where I live right now, I don't have any of that. Nada. The loudest thing I have is the guy that comes with the blower to clear the leaves and stuff. Because now I live in a subdivision, which is 500,000 houses. I don't know how many are there. There's a lot of houses. It's very quiet for the most part. And I live at the end, and out the back is the fields and the mountains and stuff. So
The mountains are lovely.
gorgeous.
Yeah, and if you get a car or a bus, I think buses, thousands of buses, they do anywhere on any corner, any time of day or night. But there's also nice drives. You can take really nice drives and go to beautiful places and see beautiful scenery, and north or south or.
There's so much here that I haven't done. Even there really isn't, because I'm more of a homebody to a certain degree. I don't do a lot of activities, though I would like to do a little bit more. I do like to go out, and go down to the Malecon or go out to a good place to eat, or go to the movies, or
I went to Symphony Hall.
different parts of the
And there's also lots
towns.
of music. I mean.
Oh, there's a lot of things. There's theater here. There's,
Yeah,
I mean, live
clubs,
theater.
live theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, shows, lots and lots of those. I mean, it's a very artsy town. Yeah.
So much food. I mean, there's a lot of restaurants here, and you can pretty much get almost any kind. Almost. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot you can't get, but there's a lot of different types of restaurants here.
So very, very
It's
good.
not.
So, like for an
one type.
example, I had this marvelous piece of salmon on the Malecon. It's one of my favorite places to sit and watch people watch and look at the ocean. Fabulous, fabulous piece of salmon, and it had rice and a salad, and it was like $12 US, and that's pretty cheap for some salmon. In Boston it would have been funny too. So yeah, I mean
That's
that's
pretty expensive.
in Boston. Well,
Is it
salmon.
Boston? Oh wow.
Yeah.
I've never paid that kind of money back in Toronto. I mean, it depends on what restaurant you're going. So, I mean, you can,
True.
you know what I mean? Depends on where you're going. What restaurant were you at?
I was at Roberto's.
Oh, you were at Roberto's. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. You can get a wonderful enchilada. We went to last week.
She took me to this place the other day. I'm going to say too much because I might have some other friends watching here, but it's really yummy. I mean, it's a
It's a
loncheria.
run
Run
lanchonette.
Loncheria.
Lancheria.
Loncheria, which
It's
is
for
a type of
lunch
sandwich.
only. I thought it just
No, it
said
doesn't mean
lunch
lunch.
because it closes at four or something.
Yeah.
And it's right on the side of the river. And the river is one of my favorite places to sit. I love that. And the river's long. There's all these lovely little restaurants. You can sit there by the
The
river.
trees
and have
around
the
there, sure, are gorgeous.
trees are gorgeous. The birds are gorgeous. It's very, very peaceful. And then it leads into the art thing, where all the Mexicans are selling their clothes they wear and stuff like that. So we have this restaurant, Jorge Luncheonette. So I discovered it years ago, and it's right there on the corner. Not attractive. It's a counter and seats, and big kind of U-shaped counter. The
That's
whole
not where they
family.
put their money into it. That's not.
Yeah,
It's about
and
the
they
food.
put out food like you wouldn't believe because we were watching. The kitchen is just right there in front of you, and oh my God, the food. But the enchilada verde is one of my absolute favorite things to eat. 4 enchiladas with thick, creamy, rich verde sauce.
Mhm.
She said it was the best she ever. And what was it? It was 65 pesos,
I
75
think something
pesos,
like that. Yeah.
65, which is
I don't
Which
know,
is-
$4, I guess, something like that. Is it $4? Yeah, probably.
we were in Walmart today and everything seemed so expensive. And she goes, well, this is what you call American shopping. But if you go to a Mexican spot, it's really, really cheap.
Yeah, they do cater
And
a little
good.
bit more. I mean, it's not exorbitant, but they know who's going to come. See, but you got to the Walmart that we were at is actually across from
The boat.
the Marina terminal. So the cruise ship people, when the cruise ships are in, they all come across the street. They go to it's
By
Walmart.
surprise.
There's a restaurant, Vips, Walmart, and then Sam's. So they all come in across there to go to Walmart, right? Because it's a big Walmart. And so they're like, oh yeah, yeah. Right up front is all the souvenirs.
This is-
Because they're gonna come in.
And the pastries and the cakes
all
are
marketing.
right in front.
Yeah,
It's like,
and the
you got to
the
go
food.
past it.
Yeah. So they're
But-
catering to that crowd, and also in that north end of the city, you do have a lot of because it's not far from
Well,
Fluvial. Yeah, there's the marina area.
Oh, the
so-
marina is beautiful, the boats at the dock. There's so many places close by, you can just go and see like the richness of everything, the marina, the boats sitting, and you can see the mountains in the background, and you can have, a drink or whatever you want to eat. And it's just such a nice relax. There's so many lovely, beautiful places just to go and relax and enjoy.
We will try as much as we can, we're not ones that go out and do all kinds of boating and all that kind of different activities. But,
Skydiving. and
that's not going to be
parachute
us. There's a lot of
jumping
other channels or
and-
people that
Maybe
are
we'll
here.
try and
Well, I don't know. We'll,
show it. No, we'll
Yeah,
video.
yeah, no, exactly. We'll go
But
out.
she'll not say, that's Bonnie up there.
But I mean, we want to show you a bit more about the scenery and just us enjoying the life here or whatever it is we do when we get together. And so that's what I'll share over the time period that Bonnie's here. Yeah, just so that those who do not know Vallarta or do not know Mexico or have
You'll
questions,
get a good idea.
from our perspective, anyways. And I know that there's a
A
lot of
lot of people feel this way.
Yeah.
They call it paradise and they mean it.
yeah.
There's not that much stress.
No.
There's because it's safe, it's free, it's very free. You can do what you want to do. and enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Anything.
There's a lot. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like, just for example, I was thinking about, I was telling her, because you can hear sometimes lots of, if someone's having a party down the street, that music will go until they're finished. Not when.
Maybe all night long.
Maybe all night long.
Loud. I mean,
You know,
loud. There's
or-
no laws about loud music.
No, it's in your house and you're having a party, you're having a party. At my house last night, there was it sounded almost like a marching band. I know it wasn't in my thing, but it must have been not far away. I don't know what's over there, but they were last night playing for, like, I don't even know what time. It was
Too long.
hours. It was hours and hours and hours. It's a good thing that it's in the distance, but it's still kind of loud. But anyways, what I was trying to say is that you cannot, like back home, if you're having a party in your house, is 12 o'clock, no more music playing, no more that, because otherwise you call the police and they come here and they tell you, no, you need, that does not happen here. Only if something here was getting out of hand or there's an issue or something, which I rarely have seen, then they would call them. But
Sometimes you wish the police would come and shut
you
them
kind of
down.
go wish they would, but you know what? You kind of get used.
It's not
every day.
It's not
or
every
anything like
day.
that,
It's not
no.
everywhere, but it does
No.
happen.
Christmas, well, you're gonna have to deal with that, because the
True that.
parties, which are posadas, they celebrate, what is it, 12-day period. So they celebrate a lot of things. Fireworks here in Vallarta, though, you're always going to hear fireworks. Like, I hear them basically every single night.
I don't hear much around here.
Yeah, I know, but where I'm situated, I don't know where they're coming from, to be honest with you, but I hear them almost every single night, in the distance. But during holidays, it's a lot more, of course. When I lived in Fluvia, I would hear them like a lot. So it's just something that, well, at the Molokon, the pirate ship comes every night and does off the fireworks. So that's
This
in the
big,
middle.
big boat that
Yeah.
has these lights on there. I don't know what is the
It is.
mast of the.
No, that's the
and-
pirate ship.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the lights are strung from one
Yeah.
end to the other
Yeah.
on something, and so you always see it in the distance, and it comes in. But not only that, there's wonderful music. Well, oh my God, these Latin guitar players that were there last year at that place. Oh my God, they were
I have video of that, but it was kind of dark, so
they
Really
were
put it together.
really, really good.
you're always going to hear music. You see, the little video that I did, was from last year, but I put up there with me trying to take the sunset. There was music playing there. Did you hear that? I was like, oh, I'm not going to cut that out, because someone was nearby playing some very nice Mexican music. I was like, hey, I don't need to go find the music. It's right there.
It's right there, and it's free. I mean,
Yeah.
you can sit down in a restaurant and have it, or there'll be benches outside of an open air place, and you can listen to the music, singers or guitar or what have you. So that's a lot of fun. And then there's these performers. Oh my goodness gracious! Who was I with?
You
Not
were-
you. No,
No?
the other night I was sitting having the frozen yogurt with a friend, and these about 8 men came, and with half-naked men came and did this amazing dance.
You're
They
talking
were-
about the natives?
No, not them.
Not them?
No,
Oh.
there's native people that like dancing and like Indian people, but no, these were just guys that did break dancing, and
Oh, I haven't seen them before.
they were really quite good. They did some amazing twirling on one hand and jumping over it, whatever. That was kind of fun. And
Was it in front of Roberto's?
no, it was over
Where-
at the frozen yogurt place.
Oh,
there.
down by the pier. Okay.
And so there's always performers. There's the native people come with these headgear and do this traditional dancing and drumming, and there's this blind man that walks down the Malecon at night, who walks with his stick, and he sings, and people give him money. He sings the most beautiful voice.
I don't know if I've seen him before or
He's
not.
really, I give him money all the time. He's wonderful, and so and then little children come up and they want you to buy gum, and little knick-knack stuff, and they're so cute.
When you're saying this reminded me. I just want to share chiclets. That's what you call them, chiclets.
Chiclets.
So my very first vacation here, which was in 1991, I actually came here 3 times on vacation in 1991. In January, July, and November. I decided in November I'm going to move here. Anyways,
And you're so young.
it's there's not that much difference between us.
It's a good 10 years.
That's not a lot.
Okay.
Okay. So
Depends which side you're on. I'm on the older side. Go ahead.
I don't follow age.
So, okay.
Anyway, so
1991.
that was 91, yes. I think it was my first, yeah, the first thing. So we come to the Malecon, right? We were staying actually in where Las Glorias is, and we came and we started at the top. You know where the top of the Malecon begins. This is
The very, very, very
where
beginning.
the Rosarita Hotel is, or
Yes, yes.
or Rosita, sorry, whatever.
CCC.
Near Lays, whatever it is. So we started and we walked down. And the first person that came up to me was a little girl who looked like she was 4 years old.
And cute.
Chicklet. And first of all, I looked at her and I was like,
Where's your mother?
where's your mother? And I was like, what are you working? Like I was like, what? They're making your children work? I mean, that's just what they do, and they still do that till today. But they have no fear. They just come up to you. Mama's sitting right over there, and they go up and they're like, chicklets. And I was like, well, I have to buy it.
Yeah.
How can you not buy it from a little one?
You could always use some gum, but
Monty always buys everybody that comes up to him, especially gum. He will give them money. But just that they start working young. Yes, they do. Some of them have to because some of them don't need to. They don't go to school or they don't whatever. But I always remembered that the first time
you saw that.
Chicken. They're so cute.
They're so cute. The kids are wonderful.
Now they selling like they've got
keychains and
arts and crafts and all kinds of things. Things that they all make. They make
thingies. But then there's also people, adults, selling pottery and rugs, beautiful weaving rugs, and the art in the Mexican, or you'll have some men come by and want to serenade you with whatever. With guitars. And then there's mariachi men, which I must say, they are kind of sexy. With their studs all down their legs. And there's sombreros, and they're really hot. But, the Mexican people are beautiful. They're really, really beautiful, physically beautiful people. Their hair is thick and straight and gorgeous, and everybody's got gorgeous teeth. And they dress really, really nice at night. If they're on a date, they get fancied up.
They really do when they go out. They like to, even though if it might even be summer attire, they still,
some heels and a beautiful shawl, and they enjoy strolling around, and they're really beautiful. And the women all have long, tall legs and beautiful skin.
Not all of them.
A lot of them are gorgeous, very beautiful people.
Some are very tiny.
And, and then some of them, there's all shapes and sizes, but they're beautiful. They're beautiful people.
We're observers, and I am for sure.
People watchers.
We just like to observe, because what would be the point also of living in a place like this and not be, I said this to Bonnie a little while ago, that when, I don't know if you remember, when I lived in North Vancouver, which I love there as well, and I was just so in awe of the beauty, the mountains. I was on the bus just going downtown, and I was like, and then when you there's lots of buildings because it's downtown Vancouver, but then in between, when you get that view and you're like, oh, look at the Rocky Mountain, oh, it's so gorgeous. And this is all the people sitting on the bus.
Oh,
nobody's looking, and there's me. Yes, I know that I was new there, but the thing about it is, I lived there for a while, and every single time I went and I passed, I go, oh, like because I'm an observer and I love nature, and so even now,
Me
like
too, me
coming
too.
here, and how many times have I, come on the bus and come there, and I was looking at the mountains and the scenery is
Enjoying what's
so
around you.
gorgeous, and so and nature and the people and everything that exists, and just the creation that that people. I don't know. That's what we want to share from that aspect. I feel. So it's through our eyes, but at the same and our experiences, and it's similar to a lot of other people's, but it's a little more sort of different focus, life more activities, or doing tours, or we just
Well,
want
there's
to.
plenty of tours too, but
Yeah, there's lots of
that's
there's
yeah, you
lots
can
of
always
that.
do that, but it's not in your face, and I don't really see. People are very, very, very poor, but you don't see really that much poverty. In Puerto Vallarta when you're walking around.
Well, you've kind of got a lot of different. There's so many different people here. So you have that. See, they wouldn't look at themselves that way, I don't think, but because they live richly, they live with their
spiritually,
family.
they
Yeah,
live spiritually.
yeah, more so, when family oriented and all that kind of thing. But there is, the different levels to a certain extent here, because you do have a lot of people that have moved here. So there's different
It's a great
classes.
place.
But we don't focus on any of that. You know what I mean? Everybody
Come on by. Get in touch.
intermingles.
Say hi.
No, really, like, if anything, we want to sort of like share that it's a wonderful place. Whether you want to just travel here on vacation, whether it's a place you're looking at to retire, because I know there's a lot of people, like there's Facebook, Facebook groups, and that are for Vallarta, or anywhere you can find groups like that. But people will join them because they want to learn more, and they want to have the experience of people who have moved here, share this, and you can talk amongst each other and whatever, share experiences or get advice or find out things. Because if you're new, you can ask an old timer. I mean, the person that's been here for a long time. You know, so, and people. That's the thing about it here is people communicate more in that sense.
Well, because there's so many travelers that need to know things.
But just even as a community, like if you okay, for example, across the street from Bonnie's, there's a restaurant. It's run by American couple, and so mostly because in Bonnie's building here has a lot of more sort of expatriates that live here either full time or they visit. So they go across the street over there, right?
Across
To
the
eat.
river.
Yeah, across the river to eat. And the thing about it is, you can walk up there, and everybody will say hello to you as you walk into. I mean, how many places when you walk into a restaurant, everybody says hello to you? It's only the staff, and they'll look at you and they'll say, "Hey, how you doing? Afternoon, da da da, whatever." And you just start talking, and they talk like you already know each other.
Right.
So that happens a lot, and especially a lot of people who are, tourists or expatriates who live there. People just talk to you, is what I'm just trying to say. They just
They're
talk to you
friendly. They're
much more
really
than back home, where it's
They're
sort
not
of like
afraid to talk to you or to.
very linear, business minded. And I'm not criticizing that. I'm just saying that here you feel much more
Free.
of community and camaraderie, and not should I talk to this person or not talk to this person? No, they talk to you.
Yeah.
You can walk up to probably anybody.
It doesn't matter who you are, what you look like.
And they'll just. So I like that feeling. You don't. There's just that more of a oneness feeling. If you
It's a
come from a
community.
spiritual
It's a real
perspective,
community.
you actually can feel oneness a lot more in this type of community than you can feel in a lot of other places.
Yeah.
So it's a different feeling. But if you want to come down, I'm sure that you will love it. I can't speak for what's said over there to perpetuate fear, because believe me, there are millions of people that come here do not buy into any of this fear or hesitation about coming. Vallarta is one of the top tourist places, and so they're coming. People are coming,
And a lot of people live here. There's a lot of locals too. You get friendly with all the people who sell things. They remember you from one year to another.
yeah, a lot of them
A lot
do.
of them do.
You know, oh, I went to the restaurant at Frankie's Spaghetti House, and I took Bonnie there,
Good place.
and the waiter who has been there. I don't know how long he's been there, but Montu and I have went there 2 or 3 times before. But there was about 9 months between where we hadn't gone. And this guy remembered us,
And remember Monty.
and this time when we went, I said, "You remember what I ate?" And he had to think
That's right. He told you what you ate
think
last
about it, and
time.
he told me what I ate. And the place was packed, so it's not like it's just a place that gets a few customers here and there.
I
It's
remember
not.
your name. It's like really nice.
Yeah, it's just a different feel. And I'm sure that if you came here on vacation, you would have a wonderful time. Whatever it is you want to do. You can do nothing, or you can explore, or you can do every activity that there is here. Well, you probably couldn't do it all in a week because there's just too much to do here now. There's way too many things to do here. Vallarta, you could never come for a week and explore I think even half of it or
No,
experience.
but if you had a car, you could really,
could do
just
a lot.
driving the
You could,
streets
yeah.
and see what's there, and going up the ocean in either direction and see what's there. Get out and enjoy a few things. You can't ever do everything. Lord have mercy. Even no matter how many years you're here, things change too.
No, I mean, as many times that I came here on vacation and living here, I mean, there's so many, even streets that I think, oh, I've never been on that street before.
I think I got lost in a cab last night.
You don't think that you can because it's not that huge of a place, but
One wrong turn,
There
you could be
is-
in the middle of gosh knows where.
I don't know. So there's so much to see. There's so much. Anyways, I think that we're kind of good for sharing what we did tonight. And if there's anybody who has like maybe any suggestions or ideas or maybe requests, I'm not saying that we could accommodate everything, but maybe you could just post that in the comments. Hopefully you will like and subscribe and share any of our videos or all of our videos. And if you do have any suggestions or comments or things like that, just post them underneath the video. I mean, some of you might have an idea about Vallarta, and you might want maybe we'll go there. I don't know. Like, there might be somewhere we could go to and then sort of film it for you, and you can have that kind of visual experience.
Personal.
We'll dedicate it to you or something like that. Like, I don't know. Maybe you can give us some suggestions or whatever requests, and we'll see what we can do. But yeah, I think we're good. We've been on for like an hour and almost 40 minutes. So you're just talking, right? Now, there wasn't a lot of people on here right now, but a lot of people just sort of listen to things like this, and then they make comments. The good thing about later is that people can come back and watch this. And if you want to share anything, please do. We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
And we'll try to do maybe tomorrow a little bit more filming, and I'll try to get up another video within the next week. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. It should be fun. If anything, I want to have fun with this, and it gives me an opportunity with Bonnie because to maybe go out and do a little bit more if we can, experience some different things. Did you want to talk about what's going to happen a little bit about tomorrow with your?
Well, I
'Cause
think it is important, and we kind of haven't really talked about it very much. There's a very huge spiritual, holistic, healthy environment. I mean, because all these people who, all their families, they grew up, eating herbs and doing natural medicine. So that's definitely around here with stores and such and such and such. So I have much aches and pains, and Christina had this biomagnetic
biomagnetic therapy.
last week. Yet really, she kept saying, "Ooh, oh, something shifted," and
Well, it's like my fifth or sixth time I've had it, but yeah, it does. For me, I can feel when things shift.
So that doctor's actually coming to my house here tomorrow.
It's great that he makes. I didn't know that he makes house calls.
I mean, yeah, when I've been to the doctor a few times in my years here, and they're always around, and there's always cheap, you know. This man is, how much is what you paying? Like 50 pesos? 500. I get zeros with
Just
that.
different.
What's
Like,
a
that's
zero? It's
$500. No, it's 500 pesos. Very big difference, buddy.
Which is like what?
500 pesos right now is
$25.
probably like, no, maybe like, oh, let's see, I did the other day, it was $27.
And he's
So,
coming to my house, and
Yeah.
he's
And
gonna.
he's not charging extra for that either. I was asked, because I wanted to see, I was like, how much are you going to charge to come home? He's like, to come home, to come to the house. No, no problem.
And he's going to
500
give me a
pesos.
wonderful treatment. And I've had people come to my house, give me a massage, and
That's one thing here for sure. Compared to back home, people would say, "Oh, maybe you're not
you
getting
can
the
afford
same."
it here. I can afford it
Yeah,
here.
you can. I mean, dentist.
$25. This man coming tomorrow working with me for an hour and a half. It's amazing.
Yeah, so
And he's got an office that was
it's,
filled, he said. last time.
well, he works out from the spa. He goes to the spa. I think he goes. He actually is someone who I think travels to people at their home, but he works at a spa. Now, I don't know if he works out of any other place, but it's like they call, I have an appointment for someone, he comes. You know what I mean? So I found out about him at the spa, but it's called Zen Harmony. So they do a lot of different things, but he comes in there. And so now I thought for Bonnie, it'd be easier for her just because there's stairs there that she probably wouldn't be able to deal with. For me, I'm like, whoa, these are kind of wild stairs. But he said, no, no problem, in the comfort of your home. And he has a motorcycle. I saw him. I think it's a Harley. I'm not sure. But anyways, but when he comes in though, he's very, I think he's handsome, and he's clean cut in his hair, and he looks very well groomed.
You didn't tell me any of that.
I told you he was nice looking.
He doesn't speak English, so
No, he
Christina's got to tell him
With
about
my
all my aches
Spanglish.
and pains.
Well, yeah, he'll probably, but you know what? He understands because he has that intuitive, because even when I'm trying to explain to him, I might not be able to speak that well to describe, the area or an ache and pain, but, well, pain is the Lord, and you can say this area. So because he is a doctor of biomagnetic, osteopath, chiropractor, he already kind of has an idea, he's like, okay, he knows the body, right? So anyways, we'll see. Maybe we'll share later. She can share after. I was thinking, can we film it? She's like, no, I don't want to film it. But I would. Like even a short.
I'll film you doing it.
I'm not having a session.
Well,
I already
let's
had
see.
one. But I'm saying maybe like a little clip so that they can see what it's like. But then again, I don't know if he wants to be on camera. He might be. It's good for business. I don't know. There'll be a lot of, once we get out there, people who are living, locals will be watching, people who don't. And maybe you never heard of this therapy. I'm not going to get into it right now, but it really was discovered, if I want to say. You can look it up, biomagnetic therapy. There's other types of magnetic therapy. There's biomagnetic. It actually was by a Mexican doctor. I always forget his name. Yeah, so yes. And so you can find practitioners here to do that. But maybe we'll share. You can share afterwards or something on one of the videos. How was that for you?
I want to say how good I feel. Oh my God, that'd be so nice.
Well, you gotta go
There's no
through some
magic.
process of, releasing and detoxing, and everybody's different because every biomedic session that I've had, there is a similarity, but for the most part, I'd say it's different. And I found that my first one was really like, I don't even know how to describe it. I went major detoxing on all levels. It was like, whoa. And then the next one, it was much more calmer, and so I didn't go through the same process afterwards. I can feel the difference. I can feel my body going through things, but it's not like it was before. And because now I've become accustomed to it. Because biomimetic does many, many things, but one thing it does is balances the pH of your body, the pH level of your body. So, because when that's out of balance, a lot of things are out of balance. Anyways, we're not going to go down that route right now. Maybe we'll do a little video afterwards on Bonnie's experience and see how if she recommends it or.
I'd rather go to the art shows and
Okay,
art
we'll go
galleries, and I need to buy a few things for my house. When I'm
Well, we'll do
it.
that.
But we will be back.
We'll do
That's
that.
the basic thing. We will be back, and I hope you
Thank
join
you,
us.
Stacy. You'll enjoy seeing Vallarta. Well, come down, if we're still here at that same time. If anything, a vacation, 1 week. You'll see what we're talking about. And
He'll be back, basically.
Yeah, this is one thing I want to share is some people might know this, but most people don't know this. A lot of people say, well, what is it about Vallarta? Now, this is coming from another aspect of things here. It actually has many, many ley lines. Vallarta has many, many ley lines. And which run from a certain part in the south to a certain, I think up to Punta de Mita, which is the north part of Bahia de Medeiros. And so these ley lines cross, when ley lines cross, they create vortexes. And it's a different energy right there. And so what this has created here is Vallarta is kind of like off the grid, and the frequencies are different, and it attracts a lot of people who are artists, healers, creative people. And so there's that feeling like you might not know, like I always thought I have such an affinity and I don't know, it could be past life, me as well, but for the most part, I have an affinity here, not just the beauty and everything like that. And I didn't know what it was until I learned that this ley lines exist here and da da da. So, and because of what I do and being in tune and affected by energies and frequencies and stuff, now I have a better understanding for me. I'm not saying that it applies to everybody, but it really is why a lot of creative people and healers and things like that come here, or people come here because they feel that more sort of peaceful, centered. There's a lot of different things. You'll know if you come. I'm pretty sure, at least most of you, if you have some sort of awareness, you'll get it in your own way. It's not the same for everybody, but yeah. All right. We're going to say good night.
Good
and
night.
Thank you very much for being here. And please, we love if you subscribe, share, comment, and tune in next time. All right. Many blessings to all of you. Thank you, Stacy. Whoever else is there, Manchu, if you're still there in the background. Thank you very much. Sending you much love and big hugs. Bye.
Adios.
Peace.